If you're hearing this, then it means I didn't make it out. It means the town has me now. I shouldn't even be saying this, but maybe if one of you listens before it's too late, you won't end up like the rest of us. There's a place in America, hidden deep in the back roads, that isn't supposed to exist anymore. A town erased from maps, wiped from history. A place where every man, woman, and child vanished overnight. No bodies, no goodbye letters, not a single clue. Just dinner plates left half-eaten, cars still parked in driveways, TVs flickering static in living rooms, and silence. A silence so heavy it feels like the air itself is watching you. I heard about it in whispers. Some called it folklore. Some said the government covered it up. But me, I went there. I had to see for myself. And what I found was real. Too real. So listen carefully. Because once you know about the town, once you hear about it, it already knows about you too. I drove for hours, past highways that got emptier with every mile. Gas stations disappeared. Streetlights turned into nothing but long stretches of darkness. And then even the GPS stopped working. The road I was on wasn't even supposed to be there. It was cracked, swallowed up by weeds, as if nature itself had been trying to erase it. The deeper I went, the quieter it got. No birds, no crickets, just silence. The kind of silence that presses against your skull until your own breathing sounds too loud. Finally, I saw it. A rusted metal sign bent almost to the ground. The name of the town was faded, but if you leaned close enough, you could just barely make out the letters. Letters that looked like they'd been scratched away deliberately, as if someone wanted this place forgotten. Beyond it, rows of houses frozen in time. I swear, it felt like driving into a photograph from the 1960s. Front porches with rocking chairs. Clotheslines sagging with old, faded dresses. Cars parked in driveways that should have turned to dust by now, but somehow still sat there, like their owners would come out any second. And yet, not a single soul. I stepped out of the car, and instantly the air felt wrong. Too heavy, too thick. Like I'd walked underwater. My boots crunched over gravel as I walked up to the first house. The door creaked open when I touched it, revealing a kitchen table. Plates still sat on it. Dinner, long rotted away. A fork rested on the edge like someone had dropped it mid-bite. I whispered, "Hello." The sound bounced back to me, warped, almost like another voice answered, but softer. I froze, and then from upstairs a floorboard creaked. My heart stopped. I wasn't alone. I don't know why, but I climbed the stairs. Each step groaned under my weight, the sound echoing through the empty house. My flashlight beam shook in my hand, and no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't keep it steady. Halfway up, I stopped. The air, it wasn't just heavy anymore. It was charged, like the static before a lightning strike. My skin prickled, my hair lifted slightly. Then, another creak, directly above me. I swallowed hard, my mouth dry as sandpaper. "Hello," I said again, only this time my voice didn't echo. It was swallowed, smothered. At the top of the stairs was a hallway, faded wallpaper peeled in strips, revealing the wood underneath. Doors lined each side, all of them slightly ajar, like someone had left in a hurry. I chose the first one on the right. Inside was a bedroom, perfectly preserved, a child's room. The walls were covered in drawings, but not the kind you'd expect. No smiling stick figures, no sunny skies. These were black scribbles, chaotic, violent, and every single one had the same shape: a tall, faceless figure standing beside the bed. My chest tightened. Suddenly, thump. A sound came from the closet. I swung the flashlight toward it. The door rattled just once, then stopped. My breath caught in my throat as I slowly stepped closer. The handle was old brass, tarnished with time. I reached out, fingers trembling, and turned it. The door creaked open, empty. Just old coats hanging limply, eaten by moths. I let out a shaky laugh, relief, stupid nervous relief. And then behind me, "Don't stay," a whisper, low, close, too close. I spun around, flashlight beam slicing across the room, empty, no one there. But the closet door, it was closed again. I ran out of that house. Didn't look back, didn't dare. My boots slammed against the broken pavement as I gulped the night air like I'd been drowning. But outside wasn't safer. The street I'd walked down only minutes before wasn't the same. The houses looked warped, stretched. like their walls were bending in on themselves. Windows that had been dark before now glowed faintly, as if something inside was watching. I tried to calm myself, tried to think logically. Maybe it was exhaustion. Maybe I was just freaking myself out. That's when I saw it. At the end of the street at church. Its steeple leaned sideways, the bell rusted and cracked. The front doors hung wide open. Something about it pulled me in. I don't even remember walking, just arriving. Inside, pews were covered in dust. But on the altar, there was something that didn't belong. A book. Thick. Leather-bound. Its pages yellowed, edges curled. I wiped the dust off the cover and read the title. The Covenant of Silence. My stomach dropped. I flipped through it, my hands shaking. Page after page was filled with names. Hundreds of them. Maybe thousands. All written in the same neat, careful handwriting. And then I froze, because some of those names, they weren't old, they were recent. Even 2023. I flipped faster, my pulse hammering, and then I found something worse than names, drawings. Just like the ones in that child's bedroom. The same faceless figure, taller than any human should be, stretching across the margins of the pages. One drawing showed the figure standing over the church, another standing over the town, and the last was blank, except for one thing, a rough sketch of a man holding a flashlight, me. I dropped the book. It hit the floor with a thud that echoed too loudly for such an empty church. My flashlight flickered, sputtered, then steadied again, and that's when I noticed it. The names on the page I'd been staring at, they were gone. Just blank lines, ink smudged like wet paint. But worse, the book wasn't on the floor anymore. It was back on the altar, exactly where I'd first seen it. My chest tightened, my throat closed, and I realized this wasn't just a place where people disappeared. This was how they disappeared. One by one. Erased, I stumbled backward, my boots scraping against the old wood floor. That's when I heard it. Dozens of voices. Whispering all around me. Male, female, children, some crying, some begging, some just repeating the same word. Stay, stay, stay. The pews were filled. Figures sat in every row. Pale, motionless. Their faces blurred, smeared, like wet paint sliding down a canvas. I ran. Burst through the church doors into the cold night air. But outside wasn't outside anymore. The sky had changed. The stars were gone. Above me was nothing but blackness and two enormous, glowing shapes. Not stars, not the moon eyes. The town itself was looking at me. I sprinted down the street, houses bending and warping as I passed, doorways stretching into gaping mouths. Street lamps flickered. Shadows crawled across the pavement faster than I could run. And then, silence. I stopped. The town was gone. The houses, the church, the roads, everything. I was standing in the middle of an empty field. No sign of pavement, no buildings, just grass swaying in the night breeze. Behind me, my car was still parked where I'd left it. For a moment, I almost believed I'd imagined it all. That I'd gone crazy. Until I saw the rearview mirror. On the glass, written in the same jagged handwriting from the book. You belong here now. I jumped into the car, slammed the door, and twisted the key. The engine roared to life like nothing had happened. My hands shook on the wheel as I tore down the dirt road, headlights slicing through the empty field. My heart pounded with one single thought: get out, just get out. And for a while it worked. The GPS lit up again, the road signs made sense. Civilization slowly crept back into view. A diner, a gas station, even other cars. I laughed, an ugly, broken sound. I was free, or so I thought. At the gas station, I went inside to grab water, still shaking. The cashier gave me a strange look, then smiled politely. Long night, he asked. I nodded, not trusting my voice. I paid, grabbed the bottle, and turned to leave. That's when I saw it. Behind the glass of the fridge door, reflected faintly. The church, the book, the faceless figure, standing directly behind me. I spun around. Nothing, just the cashier, watching me too closely now, his smile too wide, his eyes too blank. Welcome home, he whispered. My blood turned to ice. I stumbled backward, dropping the bottle, water spilling across the floor. The other customers in the store, every single one of them, turned at the exact same time. Their faces blurred, melting into the same featureless void I'd seen in the pews. I bolted, back into the car. Drove until the gas tank nearly ran dry. Didn't stop, didn't think, just ran. Hours later, I pulled into a motel on the edge of nowhere. The neon sign buzzed. The clerk handed me a key without a word. I went inside, locked the door, collapsed on the bed. And then I saw it, carved into the wall above the headboard, jagged and deep. You never left. My chest went cold. My hands trembled as I reached for my phone, and that's when I realized something worse. The voice recording app was still running, from the moment I entered the town. But when I pressed play, I didn't hear my own voice. I heard whispers, dozens of them, all repeating the same thing in unison, a sound so cold it rattled my bones. Stay, stay, stay. And then silence.